Does anyone in this room look like Barbie? No. Does anyone you know look like Barbie?
Sometimes, you know, I look in the mirror, I'll look in the magazine, and I'll be like, well, God, why can't I look like her?
1 in 5 college women suffers from eating disorders, and more than half of all girls begin dieting before they're 14.
As the Twiggy look makes a 90s comeback, anorexia and bulimia are on the rise.
Perfectionism.
If I were thin,
It just never felt like it was enough.
The theme of my daughter's eating disorder was one of control.
I always say one of the things about my eating disorder is the loneliest I've ever been.
it was in a form of escape.
I thought perhaps if I lost just a couple of pounds that things would be easier at school.
I think that the media sets trends that women want to be or look like.
Heavier people feel worse about themselves, and I think media has a lot to do with that.
Dieters are 8 times more likely to develop an eating disorder.
There's generally a sense that I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, and maybe if I do something to change my body, that will make me worthy and lovable. We are in our culture obsessed with being as thin as possible.
The ways that people's lack of self-esteem manifests, because that's the places where we're going to have to start talking to students about prevention and education.
Unfortunately, eating disorders are not on the decrease, they're on the increase. What I want to do is reach people. I want people to know that we're here and that we can find help for them. It's a myth that thinness is going to make you rich, it's going to make you popular, it's going to make you happier, it's going to make you friendlier. The dieting industry is a $50 billion a year industry.
Ranges anywhere from 5 to 10 million Americans struggling with eating disorders. 10% of that number are males that struggle with eating disorders.
I wanted to start an organization that talked about full recovery.
Isolated. I didn't want anything to do with my family or anyone.
Why can't I stop? There isn't something inherently wrong with you. You have an eating disorder. I think it's really important to be with other people who know what you're talking about because they're living it.
To have that support and know that they're going to respond and they're going to help me at all times has been incredibly comforting.
20% of people that have eating disorders end up dying. The last ism to go, I think, in our world is fatism. That people still feel like it is acceptable to make fun of somebody that is living in a larger body, and that's just not acceptable.
Males are a growing population of people with eating disorders around the world and obviously in this country.
When I first started the organization 25 years ago, eating disorders in schools and talking about body image was unheard of. We've come a long way in 25 years, but we still have a long way to go.
Today, millions of people are struggling with eating disorders that compromise not only their longevity, but their quality of life. I mean, imagine being frightened of the very thing that sustains your life.
People from minority groups and LGBTQ+ populations suffer from long histories of shame and stigma and marginalization, leading to increased rates of self-hatred and shame, and hence leading to the development of eating disorders.
Men have had a particularly challenging time finding access to care that feels comfortable for them.
We've been getting more and more phone calls from parents of young children, and it's been a challenge in terms of finding placement for these young children. Eating disorders do not discriminate. They impact people of all genders, all body shapes, all races, all ethnicities, all socioeconomic types. We will work with professionals in the community who are working with underserved populations to educate them more about how to spot eating disorders within their clients.
There are people who live in remote areas that just don't have access to services. One of the things MEDA can be instrumental in is providing some on-demand digital and telehealth services for those people so that they can have access to qualified, effective care.
I'm excited to say that we are developing a clinical advisory committee here at MEDA, and collectively we are all really excited about the opportunity to create a professional training program in which we will be out in the community training professionals who are working with clients from underserved populations.
We're instrumental in helping people understand that it's so important to advocate for positive body image from a very young age. All bodies are good bodies, that's fact. Organizations like MEDA are so important in order to help those individuals seek full recovery.
Every 62 minutes, someone loses their life to an eating disorder. MEDA's services are vital to our community. We help people get help sooner, and the sooner someone gets help for their eating disorder, the better and the quicker chances of recovery.